Human beings cannot lie to themselves. A lie is something that happens between me and someone else. Lying begins when we speak honestly and the other person reacts uncomfortably. To avoid that discomfort, we slightly change our words. If the other person still feels uneasy, we adjust our words a bit more. Eventually, we end up completely changing what we say, and that becomes a lie. So why does this happen? Because lying allows us to escape an uncomfortable situation. In other words, we do not lie because we want to. Lying occurs because the other person has pushed us into a situation where we feel cornered. If we had enough inner ability, we could resolve the situation without lying. But when we lack that ability and feel trapped, we lie simply to survive. This is much like how one hospital visit can lead to another. One lie often forces us into another lie. However, we cannot lie to ourselves. At our core, we are spiritual beings, and our spiritual nature follows a clear and precise order. This makes lying to ourselves impossible. This is simply the law of nature. We often think our physical body is who we are, but our true self is our soul. When we don't understand this natural principle and focus only on material science or academic philosophy, we fail to find the real answers to life. Science and philosophy are not separate. Science studies physical materials, while philosophy explores the non-physical essence within them. For example, when a child plays with dirt and feels its texture, they are being a scientist. When imagination arises from that experience, they are being a philosopher. In that moment, both science and philosophy are happening together. Human beings are a combination of physical energy and non-physical energy. We're all naturally both scientists and philosophers. Growing the depth of our inner being and expanding creativity is what spiritual growth truly means. A lie can be viewed as a resource or material. A person who knows how to use this wisely is someone with high inner strength and capacity. But when someone without that ability uses a lie poorly, the consequences return to them and make their own life difficult. This isn't nature punishing that person. It's nature creating an environment to provide a lesson so they can learn and grow. Lying isn't inherently bad. It is a very natural human response. If a white lie allows a situation to pass smoothly without hurting anyone's feelings, why should it be considered wrong? On the other hand, if speaking bluntly causes anger and leads to conflict, that is what creates trouble. According to the law of nature, if speaking the truth might cause immediate anger, it's wiser to soften your words to keep the peace. Once the environment is better and the person is ready to hear it, you can speak the truth then. This will likely lead to gratitude and a better relationship. This is what it means to be a wise and capable person. A guilty conscience is a natural reaction, so shouldn't necessarily label it as right or wrong. How much you feel it often depends on your level of inner strength. When we lack the strength, we only see lying as a wrongdoing and we become overly conscious of others' reactions. But if you use that moment to resolve to grow and do better, there is no need to be trapped by guilt. If we stay trapped in guilt and fall into depression, this is not just personal loss, but also a loss for society, for the nation, and for humanity as a whole. Humanity and the universe operate as one interconnected system, and we exist within it. When one person suffers, that energy affects the whole. This is the butterfly effect on a global scale. Therefore, working on yourself, finding your own joy, and living happily is an act of service to humanity. Try not to see lying only through a narrow moral perspective. Look at it through the broader principles of nature, understand it fully, and bring it back to a clear point of insight. Do you understand?
Key teaching points. 1. We can lie to others to escape an uncomfortable situation, but we can never lie to ourselves. This is because our core spiritual nature operates under a clear and precise order of nature. 2. We often think of lying as a moral choice, but it's an instinctive response when we lack our inner strength to handle a difficult situation truthfully. 3. Because humanity and the universe operate as one interconnected system, being trapped in guilt or depression harms the whole. Therefore, working on yourself, finding your own joy, and living happily is an act of service to humanity.